All right, good morning, everyone. It is 10:27 in the morning of July 14th, 2021, and today I get to do a $157 recap. So the stocks that I was watching this morning, they really weren't doing much. It was actually MDIA started hitting the scanner, so I got a good trade on that one, and I'll show you. I took a stab at SBSW, only 100 shares. It really wasn't going in the correct direction. So down 8 cents on that. JZXN, boy, oh boy. That could have been much more profitable trade. I think I got just barely over break even on this stock. And, well, I'll show it to you. So the first trade of the day was on JZXN, and right here. So I had these. I had this $5.43 price marked off pre-bell, pre-market, and it was in accordance with the bottom right here. This morning pre-market low right here. And so I was watching on the 1 minute, and it came down and then went back up and then tested. This is a pattern I like to see. Came down to this level, bounce, came back down, tested, and then moved back up again. And so I started averaging in right here. I started buying 100 shares at a time, and I was going for a 1,000 share total. Okay, so I know that I bought more heavily in these two candles right here. So by the time this candle right here really started to open up, I already had 1,000 shares, and was just sort of waiting for it to run and then keep going. And unfortunately, what it did on this 1 minute candle here, you can see it gave a false breakout, and then it plummeted. Like, it broke up here to as high as 630. I was in at an average of, I think it was 560-ish, 579-ish. I was in an average of 1,000 shares at $5.79. And so I was sitting in this trade, up $500, on 1,000 shares from 579 to a high of was 630. It was at $500. It was like, oh, yoo-hoo, this is looking good. We're gonna, this thing, it just broke above its open. It's getting ready to lift off. Things looking good, and then it dumped hard. It dumped really fast. This 1 minute candle right here, I think the price went down from 630 to below 5 again, incredible speed. And so I wound up dumping this thing for just barely over break even. I think on 1,000 shares I made like $2. So like I made like 0.2 cents on this trade. It dumped really, really quickly. So I got out of it basically break even. Let me do the math on it real quick. Let's see. Go to my calculator. And so JZXN. All right, so $10 plus $40 plus 77.05 minus 125.51, 125.51. Oops. Minus 125.51 equals minus, oops. All right. Let me just do it this way. Clear. Is that 127.05? 127.05 minus 125.51. So I made like $1.50. 125.51. I made $1.50 divided by 1,000. So, Yeah, 0.154 cents on 1,000 shares. It's really too bad. It was just, I was my target is $500 a day, which I'm having a difficult time hitting these days. Yeah, so I was sitting on this trade thinking, I was sitting on this thing right in here thinking, all right, let's see how far this thing can run. Let's see, there's a little bit of a pre-market, downtrend here. Let's see if it can break above that 680 right there and really start ripping up. And it did not. So, I was fortunate to get out of this thing break even, with the way that it tanked. Well, so then MDIA started hitting the scanner this morning. It only hit it a couple times. And then once it got to here, I only traded 200 shares. And I made about 80 cents per share. I remember I got into this thing on this candle right here at about, I think it was around 1070 or 1080. And then it went into a halt, a circuit breaker halt. Went into a halt at 9:51 in the morning and then opened up at 9:56 again. And I basically sold it where it opened. So let's see. It opened at 1169. Oh, okay. I bought, so yeah, I should pay a little bit closer. So 81 cents. They change 1 cent. For whatever reason, realized I made 160 on 200 shares. And why is it saying only 1 cent over here? Yeah, that's strange. I made 82 cents per share on it. And I bought it at, say, roughly 1080, and I sold it at roughly 1160. So after it came out of the halt, I sold. It did go quite a bit higher, and I could have made a little bit more money on it, but yeah. So I made 80 cents. And I was in at roughly 1080, and then sold it at roughly 1160. So yeah, I caught a ride there. It was nice. And then SBSW, I took a stab at SBSW at $17.34 for only 100 shares. Right up here. And I'll show you on the 1 minute here. So in the 1 minute, you can see here on the 1 minute that it was trying to hold this $17.35 or 34 cent area. I bought right at $17.34, and it just couldn't hold and started coming down. I'm pretty sure it's when it broke this 1730 right here. So I lost roughly 8 cents on this trade on 100 shares. I was in at 1734, so that means I sold it at 1726. Yeah. So on this candle, so it broke down this little doji right here. I was like, okay, here's a little doji. This is, sometimes this is a direction change mark, but it just couldn't do it. It couldn't hold the low of that 1730 area, and then just started taking off to the downside. And so I sold right down here at the bottom of this candle for an 8 cent loss. On 100 shares, it's $8, so it's kind of no big deal, and I wasn't expecting to make a lot. If the stock did start turning in the correct direction, I wasn't expecting to make a heck of a lot of money on it anyway, because I was expecting 1743 to be resistance. So, and didn't work out, but it was a very small loss. It's just the way you like to keep your losses. All right, everybody, that is the recap for the day. Good luck out there. Keep your risk tight. Click like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment, and I will see you at tomorrow morning's strategy session. I am out.